Good morning to all. It's a lecture on introduction and course outcomes of structural geology. Structural geology is the paper in B.Sc Sem 6 as paper 1 and it has been allotted by Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. Structural geology, it is a branch of geology that studies rock deformation on both large and small scale. Its scope range from microscopic lattice defect in crystals to megastructures of the earth crust. So actually what structural geology studies, it studies the different kind of deformation existing on and in the earth crust, but that doesn't mean it won't deals with the microscopic studies. Structural geology also concerns with the microscopic studies of the crystals. Let us see the syllabus. As per Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, the structural geology has been allotted to B.Sc Sem 6 as paper 1 with a code of USGE 0 T113. Following is the syllabus of the paper. In Unit 1, we are going to study scope and aim of structural geology, concept of rock deformation, types of forces, stress and strain, cladometer compass, its parts and methods to use it, structural outcrop, study of outcrops, identification of beddings, deep measurement, and different kind of measurement techniques. What are the outcomes? What are the course outcomes? Students understand the basic concept of structural deformation and respective processes responsible for it. So in this unit, you are going to understand the various concepts of structural deformations and the respective processes which are responsible for the formation of these structures. Students learn the fundamental of structural measurements with the help of basic instruments. Yes, in this unit, you are going to see how the different kind of instruments can be used for the measurement of fundamental structure or fundamental structural aspects like deep, strike, rake, plunge, etc. Students will also develop a skill to perform various structural measurement in the field too. When you'll visit the field, you'll be also able to measure these components in the field too. So it ultimately gives you a skill to read the different kinds of structural aspects in the field. Let us see the unit 2. In unit 2, we are going to study outcrops and their relationship with topography, overlap, erosional structures, inliers and outliers, cliff and fenester, synclinal hill, anticlinal valley, and unconformities. So what are the course outcomes of this unit? Students understand the interrelationship between structural geology and topography. It is very important to know that after studying this unit, you'll be able to understand the interrelationship between the structural aspects and the topographical aspects of any landform. Say, for example, if a topography is indicating some kind of unique structure, it can be correlated with the respective structural aspect present over there. So after studying the unit, you'll be able to understand how the structural geology controls the topography of an area. Students develop a skill to identify the various structures on the behalf of topographical expression. Yes, on behalf of topographical expressions, just by observing topography, you will be able to trace out the different structures present in that area. The third outcome is students understand the concepts of unconformity and its significance in the field. Yes, unconformity is a very crucial and important aspect in geology. It is quite helpful in geochronology, and by studying this unit, you'll be able to understand the unconformity and the respective significance, especially in the geochronology. So this unit is quite important as far as the geochronology and the structural and the stratigraphy is concerned, because unconformity has a wide role in geochronology and stratigraphy. We'll say the next. In Unit 3, we are going to study structural elements, planar and linear, folds, definition, style, orientation, morphology, geometric and genetic classification, effect of folding on outcrops, joints, definition of joints, and geometric and genetic classification of joints. So what student is going to get from this unit? Students understand the various linear features and develops an ability to identify in the field. Yes, You will develop an ability to identify linearities in the field. Student learns the fundamental of folds and its various aspects. Yes, fold is a very crucial aspect and crucial structure in the structural geology. You will be able to understand the various fundamentals of the folds as well as its classification, its orientation, its morphology, and of course, the geometric and genetic classification. Geometric classification means it is based on its geometry, whereas genetic classification is based on its mode of origin. Students understands and develop the skill to identify fold and its respective effects in the field. Yes, you'll be able to identify the folds in the field and the respective effects caused by that fold in the field. There are multiple effects of the folds in the field and you'll be able to identify them. Students will able to also learn joint systems and will be able to identify them in the field. Unit 4, this is going to be our last unit, and in unit 4 we're going to study faults and its different aspects like definition, geometric, genetic classification, effects, etc. As well as we are going to study the different aspects of foliation and lineations, the map symbols, and the different kind of zones like shear, ductile, and brittle zone. So what are the course outcomes? Students learns the fundamental of fault and its various aspects. Similarly, parallel to the faults are also very important structures in the structural geology, and they are very common. Students will be able, or you will be able to understand the fundamentals and its various aspects. You will be also able to identify the faults and their respective effects in the field. Yes, you will be able to identify the faults and their respective effects or respective expressions in the field. Students will also learn, or you will also learn about the foliation and lineation aspects with their identification. Yes, in geology, foliations and lineations have a separate importance. And after studying this unit, you will be able to understand their effects, their identification, as well as their different kind of their aspects in the field. Students will also learn about the structural maps and its preparation techniques and respective symbols. Yes, structural maps are the indispensable part of the structural geology, and definitely you'll be able to learn about the structural maps and will be able and will be skilled enough to prepare them. And you'll also learn about the various map symbols which we used usually in the map preparation. There are three kinds of maps like the contour maps, outcrop maps, and section maps. So in future lectures, we'll see them in details. And the next outcome is students understand the different structural zones responsible for structural formation. Yes, uh, you will be able to understand the different structural zones like the shear zone, the tile zone, brittle zones, and how their existence are important in the formation of different structural aspects like fault, fold, unconformity, etc. So this is going to be a very important unit in your syllabus. So now we'll discuss about the summary of the course outcomes. If we want to summarize the course outcomes of your syllabus, just we can say that the students or you will be able to understand the basic concepts of various geological structures and its process of formation. Yes, the next outcome would be you will be able or you will develop a skill to identify various structural aspects like faults, fold, etc. in the field. You'll be able to understand the relevance of the structures in various approaches like economic geology, tectonic geology. Yes, it is very important that after studying structural geology, you will be able to correlate your knowledge with the different interdisciplinary aspects like economic geology, tectonics, etc. And you'll be also learn to draw the various structural maps and its application. Yes, it is very important, and I must tell you that it is a professional skill when you'll be able to draw a structural maps and you'll be able to identify its application in the field. It's a kind of a professional skill you will develop. So the structural geology is a subject which you can see as a professional subject, because whenever you go out in the field or uh, in your various job, you will require the knowledge of structural geology at most, because it's a very important subject and it is a field oriented subject. So in your future jobs, this subject is going to help you tremendously. So the development of the professional skills is one of the most important outcomes of this paper. So I'm thankful to you. Thank you very much for your patience listening, and I hope that if you if you find any kind of difficulty, or if you find any kind of query, you can just contact me on the WhatsApp group, or you can contact me personally. Thank you very much.